Oil, ambition and opportunity. Tinubu backs Dangote's expansion. A $120 billion market awaits Africa. By Sivak New. When presidents and tycoons shake hands on an energy project, the ripple effects are rarely local. At the 19th OTL Africa Downstream Conference in Lagos, President Bola Tinubu, represented by the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Heineken Lokpabiri, sent a clear message. The federal government will back Dangote Refinery's ambitious expansion from 650,000 barrels per day to 1.4 million BPD. That pledge isn't just about political cover for an industrial giant. It signals a strategic bet that Africa can reclaim and monetize its own fuel market. The Guardian Nigeria, Africa's $120 billion gap, and why it matters. Lokpabiri told delegates that Africa imported roughly $120 billion worth of hydrocarbon products in 2024, framing the continent not as an energy backwater but as a massive unmet market. For cash-rich private projects like Dangote's, that's not merely potential profit. It is a national opportunity to keep value chains on the continent, create jobs, and strengthen energy security. The Guardian Nigeria. This figure reframes the debate. Rather than ask whether Africa should produce hydrocarbons, the immediate question becomes how the continent can capture more of the downstream value that currently flows overseas. The policy pivot, deregulation, subsidy removal, and private investment. Tinubu's administration has signaled a policy environment intended to spur private investment in refining and downstream industries. The removal of fuel subsidy, controversial and politically fraught, has been defended by government voices as a mechanism that opened the door for private capital. According to Lokpabiri, deregulation has coincided with a sharp rise in allocations shared among federal, state, and local governments, reportedly rising to over N$2.2 trillion monthly from about N$500 billion previously, money the government argues should be channeled into infrastructure and long-term development. The Guardian Nigeria. For investors, the combination of market signals, higher transparent prices, and fiscal flows creates a clearer commercial calculus, build local capacity to meet local demand. For policymakers, it creates a mandate to ensure that those fiscal gains are converted into roads, ports, pipelines, and regulatory frameworks that support reliable operations. The global energy context, pragmatism over purity. Lokpabiri also referenced International Energy Agency (IEA) data to make a stark point. The world still expects oil and gas to account for a significant share of energy through mid-century, and the IEA estimates that roughly $540 billion per year will be needed in oil and gas development until 2050 to avoid supply shortfalls. His remark underscored an argument that recent net-zero rhetoric must be tempered by pragmatic investment in hydrocarbon infrastructure to ensure energy security. The Guardian Nigeria. That position doesn't deny climate concerns. It argues for a transitional realism, investing cleaner, more efficient hydrocarbon infrastructure while building parallel investments in renewables and cleaner technologies. Lagos positioning itself as an energy hub. Local leadership is part of the playbook. Lagos, represented at the conference by Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu's office, pitched the state as an energy and logistics hub that will support downstream growth through policy and subnational initiatives such as the Lagos State Electricity Policy and the Lagos Energy Transition Plan. Subnational buy-in like this is important. Refining and distribution are as much logistical and regulatory challenges as they are industrial ones. The Guardian Nigeria. What expansion to 1.4 million BPD would mean, and the practical hurdles. If Dangote's refinery successfully doubles capacity, the implications would be significant. Import substitution. A larger refinery could replace a much bigger share of refined fuel imports, keeping foreign exchange on the continent and stabilizing local supply. The Guardian Nigeria. Export opportunities. Surplus refined products could be exported across West Africa and beyond, positioning Nigeria as a regional supplier. The Guardian Nigeria. Industrial linkage. More refining capacity feeds petrochemical feedstocks and fertilizer production, industries that multiply local value addition. The Guardian Nigeria. But there are practical hurdles that must be managed. Securing reliable crude supplies. Local producers have competing incentives. Financing the expansion, it may require new capital